My name is Kaylee and this video is all about the olive trees at Göbekli Tepe. As most of you watching this will know, I toured Turkey for 2 weeks in October of 2024, and during the tour I visited Göbekli Tepe. I've seen the archaeologists excavate with my own eyes. This video was sponsored by Warhammer 40,000 Tacticus, but as always, more on the sponsor later in the video. For the past year or so, however, there's been a lot of talk about the olive trees at Göbekli Tepe and the possibility of these trees causing damage to the ancient structures beneath the soil. Some people have made claims that archaeologists planted these trees to ensure that they wouldn't need to carry out further excavations, which is honestly a ludicrous idea. So in this video, I'm going to tell you all about how these olive trees ended up at one of the most important ancient sites in the entire world. And I will tell you about what's going to happen to these trees, because
good news, everyone!
These olive trees are going to be removed and replanted somewhere else. So first, let's start with why these olive trees were planted at Göbekli Tepe in the first place, because this is one of the oldest man-made structures on the face of the planet, making it one of the most important sites in the entire ancient world. Göbekli Tepe was first discovered back in 1963 during prehistoric research in southeastern Anatolia. Surface surveys that were conducted by the Istanbul University and the University of Chicago figured out that there was something there. But, besides being noted as possibly an important ancient settlement, no further study was conducted at this point in time. It actually wasn't until 1994 until Klaus Schmid from the University of Heidelberg, yeah, I know my German viewers will hate me for that, but at the University of Heidelberg, carried out a study in the area, and only then were the monumental characteristics of the site and its archaeological value realized. Alright, so I've been playing Warhammer 40,000 Tacticus for a while now, and I gotta say, it's so good. If you're into strategy games or just love Warhammer 40,000, this is a must-try. It's got that perfect mix of fast-paced action and deep tactical thinking. Let me show you why I'm hooked. So first up, the champions in the game are insane. You've got over 80 of them, from Space Marines to Necrons, and each one feels unique. I've been running this Adeptus Mechanicus team lately, and the synergy is just chef's kiss. The battles are turn-based, but they're super quick and intense, and you've got to think about positioning, abilities, and how your units work together. One wrong move and you're toast. But there's so much to do. I've been grinding the PvE campaigns, but the PvP battles are where it gets really competitive. Plus, the life events and guild raids keep things fresh. The devs are always adding new stuff, like the recent Adeptus Mechanicus update, which totally changed how I play. Whether you're a strategy fan or a die-hard Warhammer enthusiast, this one's a must-play. Grab Warhammer 40,000 Tacticus now by clicking the link in my description or by scanning the QR code and use my code HelloFeb for 2,000 gold and 50 blackstones to kickstart your journey. Trust me, you don't want to miss out. So the first excavation started back in 1995, but while these excavations were taking place, the landowners started to plant olive trees on the land to be able to seize more compensation for the land, because the landowners may have suspected that the Turkish government wanted to buy the land to further excavations of the site in the future. This was very smart of them to do, because olive trees in the country of Turkey are protected by law. The existing law states that those who cut down an olive tree without permission must pay a fine of 2,000 Turkish lira per tree. So for the landowners back in 1995, it was a very smart investment to plant these olive trees as their property value went up. And they were able to sell the land to the Turkish government for a lot more money than if they didn't have planted these olive trees. The landowners never planted the olive trees to interfere or disrupt the archaeological efforts, as some may have claimed. They never wanted to damage the underlying structures or make future excavations impossible. However, the landowners did plant around 800 olive trees on the land. And for decades, the trees have been growing. But most of them were planted on top of possible remains beneath the surface. In fact, some of them were planted right next to the spot where the initial excavations took place, which resulted in restriction of further archaeological work. There has always been a fear of possible unintended damage to the ancient remains underneath the trees. And while protection of the ancient remains is the top priority, the environmental conservation is equally crucial, especially when needing to abide by the law. And with that, I actually mean the olive tree law. So for a very long time there have been discussions on what to do with the olive trees, if it's possible to have them removed from the site while still abiding by the law, and how this should be done. So about a year ago, a plan was finally agreed upon to remove the olive trees from the Gobekli Tepe World Heritage Site and relocate them to nearby areas that are not of archaeological significance. So thankfully, in all the years that these plans were being created and discussed and all this taking place for all these years, the archaeologists continued their excavations at the currently uncovered areas of Gobekli Tepe, as there are still many tasks of excavation for them to complete. Standing pillars and structural walls will also need reinforcements, but not before the entire area is properly excavated, so that no information will be lost. Relocating the olive trees will ensure the archaeological site's cultural heritage and keep the surrounding ecosystem intact. So instead of cutting them down with official permission, which really is nearly impossible to get, might I add, they were able to come to an agreement for relocation so that these beautiful trees may continue to grow elsewhere. So the archaeologists at the site are beyond pleased with this agreement, since preserving the integrity of the site and its buried structure is their primary concern. They had to wait for the right season to start moving the trees, and finally it is the perfect time to move them. The trees will be carefully uprooted using a technique that exposes their roots without causing harm. After the trees are removed, they are being handed over to the Şanlıurfa Regional Forestry Directorate and will be replanted in designated areas in Şanlıurfa and Birecik. Next year's excavation strategy will be determined after conducting geomagnetic surveys in the area where they have removed the olive trees. That way, they can start to expand the current excavations and start uncovering more of this incredible enigmatic site that's among the oldest built structures in the entire world. And if you would like to see the progress later this year on the olive tree removal at the site, I'm going to be visiting Gobekli Tepe in September this year on my Turkey tour, and you can actually join me and see the ancient sites with your own eyes. So we will be seeing Göbekli Tepe, Karahan Tepe, Sefer Tepe, Mount Nemrut, Sayburç, the ancient city of Haran, the ancient city of Shuaib, the Bazda caves. We will be doing a relaxing boat tour over the Euphrates River. We will be seeing the fairy chimneys at Cappadocia, and we will visit an underground city. And we will also go to the Hittite city at Hattusha and see the mysterious green stone. An 11-day all-inclusive tour visiting the most incredible ancient sites the country of Turkey has to offer. A trip of a lifetime. The link to book your spot or find more information about my Turkey tour is of course in the description down below. So this leaves me with one question. What do you think of the olive trees at Gobekli Tepe, and are you as happy as I am that they're going to be removed from the site and relocated elsewhere? Let me know in the comments down below. And don't forget to download Warhammer 40,000 Tacticus and use code HelloFeb for those bonus rewards. Link is in the description, go check it out and let me know what you think. And I'll see you on the battlefield. If you enjoyed watching, then don't forget to give this video a thumbs up, subscribe if you'd like to see more of these kind of videos, and click that bell icon if you want to be notified whenever I upload. If you haven't seen my previous videos yet, then click the card in the upper right corner or click one of the links in the description down below, or click a video in the end card. I would also like to say a massive thank you to all my patrons and my channel members. Thank you so much for supporting me. Almost done with the move, and yeah, I bought myself a couple of rings. And they're very gorgeous. And no, I'm not engaged. I'm not married. I just bought this for myself. I'm moving in with my boyfriend, but I don't need a guy to buy me beautiful things. I can do that myself. I'm a very independent woman like that. So please stop assuming things on the internet and spreading falsehoods, because none of them are true. And I'll see you in the next video. Bye.